Hey y'all, hey, it's Mel. Thank y'all for tuning into the YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and pay for the Patreon link below. So yeah, I do want to start doing more talking head videos. The Host Not Human video is doing so good. So y'all keep watching and sharing it, and welcome if you're new. So yeah, somebody asked me to talk about comedy. People want me to talk about my comedy journey. And let's talk about it. So yeah, I think you should talk about being a stand-up comedian and how writing jokes for stage and digital are different. And that is very true. They are very different experiences. So I'm going to talk about that. Talk about the journey. Again, my story has never changed. I tell the same story every time about how I got into comedy and what that looked like. So the short version of the story is I've been ridiculous my entire life. The way that I act, the way that I carry myself, I've been like this the whole time, right? So I would just say ridiculous stuff on Twitter. And once I graduated, so I was saying anything on Twitter in undergrad because, you know, if you know the lore, my group chat got leaked. It was a whole thing. And then since what I said got exposed, I was like, well, I'm going to just say what I want just off rip. So from there, I would just say anything. And I had a podcast right when I graduated in 2016, which was 10 years ago. Crazy. And I would say anything on there. And then I had a friend who was like, Mel, you're really funny. You should start doing stand-up. I was like, what? No, me? No, absolutely not. So I was scared. Of course I was. I was scared. And the funny thing is, I've been watching stand-up my whole life. Like, literally, I was 11 and 12 years old, staying up late, watching Delirious on Comedy Central. Like, you know, late at night, Comedy Central would have an uncut, too. And they would have an uncut comedy special. So Eddie Murphy and Dane Cook, Chappelle, all that stuff. So I would be watching as a kid. And then I spent a lot of time with my dad growing up, and he didn't have sons, so he would just do boy stuff with me, and I would watch stand-up with him. That was our thing. So I've always been a fan of the craft. I never really thought that I could do it, but apparently I could. So in 2017, I started writing, but I still was too chicken to go up on stage. And life started really beating my ass. Like, I lost my job. I got broken up with. So that gave me a lot of material. So in 2018, I finally had the courage to get on stage. But I started writing in 2017. And some of the jokes I still tell to this day are jokes I wrote in 2017. So shout out to me for having the foresight for a good joke. So yeah, the rest is history, man. So started doing open mics, started doing, you know, little shows here and there. I remember the first person to give me some real stage time is Clint Coley. And he used to go to Relapse. If you know, you know, back in the day, Relapse over there at 14th Street by like that car wash and stuff. It's a church. And on the bottom was a comedy club. I used to love Relapse. So that's where I started really getting some real time. So anytime Clint was in town, he'd give me some time. And I was just starting. So I was rough around the edges, but I've been funny. Like, I've always been funny at the core. Like, my personality is just funny. So I just kept going. Like, I just do my little shows. 2019, I moved to New York for the summer. I did a couple rooms out there. Came back home because I had an internship that summer. In my industry career, in my comedy career, they've intersected. Like, I always wanted them to intersect. So I've been working in the industry for 12 years now. I started working as a PA at different award shows. So that was a really good resume builder. So I started working in social media, Blavity at one point. I was an intern for Michael B. Jordan in 2019. That's why I moved to New York. And then during the pandemic, so the pandemic happens, I'm not doing open mics no more. And I was like, dang, what can I do to really stay relevant and stay sharp and stand up? So I was just trying to figure stuff out. I did a couple videos here and there, but I wasn't consistent. And that's when I got in a relationship, still was doing comedy, still was doing shows. And then I was an organizer for the 2020 election for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So that was fun. That was me being able to, you know, work. And then I got my first big girl job at TBS, TNT, and True TV, working at Warner Media. That was the name at the time. Now it's Warner Brothers Discovery, and it's about to be some other stuff now. That's neither here nor there. So worked in marketing, finally got my first big girl job, and then I was still doing comedy on the side here and there. So everything changed in my career when I hosted the Step Show at FAMU in 2021. Literally everything changed. And I will say, before then, Roy Wood Jr. was the first big comedian that I opened up for. So that, between opening up for Roy and doing the Step Show, both in October of 2021, that catapulted me. So I did the Step Show, which still haunts me because I didn't bomb, but I didn't do great. but I didn't do awful either. It was fun, but I think I overthought it, and I was over there like trying to write real Greek jokes or whatever, and this not the generation for that. Like my era, like the Duck and all of them people doing the Greek videos and parodies and stuff, that wasn't for these kids. So I overthought it. Some of the jokes didn't land. I didn't get booed though. Then my Neos lost. It was just a stressful situation. But yeah, so after that, that's when Instagram started paying you to do reels. And I was like, hold on. Because I was trying to get like TikTok. I was trying to do TikToks here and there. I didn't figure out what my lane was for content. And then I was like, it's something. So I just kind of doing stupid little reels here and there to just stay consistent. And then 2022, January, I saw someone, what's her name? So, a white female comedian on TikTok. What is her name? I'm gonna need to find it so I can shout her out. And she did the teacher at Euphoria. And I was like, that is so funny. And back in the day in 2019, when I didn't have a job, I was a substitute teacher. So I have the teaching experience of how I used to be with the kids, because I used to be very funny with the kids. So, okay, Maggie Winters. Shout out to Maggie Winters, because me doing this video changed my life. So I was like, oh, let me do the black version of this teacher, and literally the rest is history. Then I did the black teacher at Hogwarts, and that had 1 million views by the very next day. So I was like, let's keep up this momentum. Again, I still have my 9 to 5, making this content. I talked about it in my other video. My coworker started finding me at work, and then I ended up having to eventually quit my job. And I talked about that in the other video, because that's when my videos were going viral, I saw Kev on stage liking my stuff. And I was like, oh my God, Kev on stage. I've been following Kev on stage since 2012. My freshman year, I've been doing this. I made content in 2012. I made stuff FAMU girls say. Like the stuff girls say, stuff black girls say. And then Kevin on stage did stuff church girls say. So I followed him since then, since the kids were little. And I was like, oh my God, Kevin on stage. Like as a church kid, as a funny kid, like that's our boy. So I DM'd him. I was like, hey Kev, I see you like my video. I see you follow me. So honored. I'm a stand-up comedian out of Atlanta. I would love to do Keep Your Distance comedy. That was the show that he was doing at the time, and everybody was like blowing up off of that. So I was like, I need that. And I had sent in the tape when they first started doing it, because it was clean. You had to send in a clean tape in 2020. Awful tape I sent in. Not great. But in 2022, I had this really good set. I just did at Laughing Skull. Had a very solid, like 5-6 minutes. Sent that in. He asked, because he asked for it. He was like, oh, send me a tape. So I sent him a really good tape. He was like, oh, this is funny. My wife laughed. Like, this is going to be great. So I'm like, hell yeah. Yeah. So I do Keep Your Distance. He flies me out to LA. I never been flew out to LA before. I was so excited. I had the worst experience in the airport. Like, I was late. I missed my first flight. I had to pay out of pocket for a new flight. My cycle was on. My wig got messed up. So if you see my Keep Your Distance, my wig looked kind of crazy. I messed it up in the airport because I sweated out. Neither here nor there. I was like, the devil will not steal my joy. I'm going to put my foot in this routine. That's what I did. So from Keep Your Distance, Kev asked me to go on tour with him, which was crazy. And I was mentally unwell at the point. I was going through a breakup. It was a whole lot going on. But I had more material from said breakup. It was great. So I toured with him for like a year. Opened up so many opportunities for me. So since then I've done TV, I've done this, I've done that. I was a Nike yard runner. So we had this big photo shoot and we did the billboards. I've been on Scare Tactics. I've done so many shows with Kevin. It's very important because it's a very important lesson in not only just being funny, but being professional and being personable. Because I could have been funny and went and did the show and went home and never heard from Kev again. But because of the way I show up in these rooms, the level of talent that I have, the level of professionalism that I have, he said, not only are you great, I would like for you to go on tour with me. He didn't know me for real. He met me once or twice. And from the tour, my behavior on the tour, in the green room, doing this, being on time, being it, he's asked me to come do more stuff. And I show up, I perform, I do great work, and I'm normal. So he keeps on calling me. And that's how I work with a lot of people that I work with, whether it be brand deals and this and that. I come, I show up, I'm professional, I'm cool, I'm normal. That's how I get more opportunities. So that's been the journey. Definitely trying to act more. Definitely trying to do more comedic stuff. Keep your eyes peeled, And then I have my different series. So I went from Hogwarts, and then like 2023, I was like, I need to like have more of a message. So I started Hoes Not Humans, which is what y'all have been watching and enjoying. Hoes Not Humans has been my my Miss Sandra's dream. Men have capitalized off pretending to be women for so long. Why can't I do it? Why can't I put a ball filter on? So that's been very fun. Okay, I'm just making sure this microphone is on because if it hasn't been on this whole time, I was going to crash out. It's been very fun. So just have all my different characters because I had auditions. I've had some great auditions. I never got any of them. But I had a great audition for a Black Lady Sketch Show in 2022. And she asked for me to do 5 distinct different characters. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. So from there, I was like, I need more characters. And that's how people like Quan Dietrich and Misha and Bucket Hat were born. Now I can Eddie Murphy a whole fake podcast and have different characters because I was like, I need to have the resume of people I can play. So yeah, my journey's been fun. It's just beginning. It's so much more in store. Like I definitely want to be on your TV screens more. I definitely want to write more. I want to produce something. I want to create and all of that. And definitely like someone who I look up to is obviously Kev because he's done it himself. Like Hollywood kept saying, no, don't worry about it. I do it myself. I make it myself. Ain't nobody put me no movie yet. All these celebrities follow me. They ain't call my phone. I ain't getting no woo-woos on my phone. So I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it. Okay. And I think that's important. Just being your own savior. Because ain't nobody coming to save you in this industry, especially as a Black woman, as a non-skinny, as a non-light. I got to do it myself. So that's what this YouTube is about. Me trying to build that. I know I'm late to the party. I should have been building this 4 years ago. But we here now. Okay. As you can see, I've been making content on this page for like 20 years. Which is insane. But I've grown up with this YouTube account. So yeah, and then comedians, I don't have a particular order for top 5. And some of them may be problematic, but these are just my favorites, right? Paul Mooney's my number 1 though. Paul Mooney raised me comedically. Paul Mooney made me look at the world differently. And again, problematic, sure, but this is before I knew anything problematic, right? Eddie Murphy, of course. I'd say this is a deep cut. Benji Brown. Benji Brown is one of my comedic OGs. I'm from Miami, Florida. Kiki. And I don't really go for a lot of men in wigs content. Kiki's one of the best men in wigs characters ever. Kiki, we is at your funeral. That girl killed you. Benji Brown is in my top 5. Let me see. I gotta put Monique on there. I gotta have a female comedian on there. Monique also raised me. Skinny women are evil and they do need to be destroyed. I missed when she was going on that whole tirade because it was hilarious. I think I may do more than 5. Let me see. I will say Chappelle's not my fave anymore, but I will say his influence on me as a comedian in general and my love for comedy. Don't do him no more. However, Chappelle's one of the reasons I fell in love with the art form. That's 5. But then I gotta do Cedric the Entertainer. Got to. Kevin Hart, obviously. I got it. And people be playing on Kevin Hart's face. I think when you get too big, people try to bring you back down. But like, niggas wasn't doing what Kev was doing. Like, what Kev was doing. They wasn't. Like the comedic rock star, like I saw that from the beginning. When I first saw him in Soul Plane and Scary Movie 3 to where we are now, come on now. And Cat, you got to get, again, problematic, but you got to give Cat his 10s because I remember vividly sitting down in my living room in 2006 as a 11, 12-year-old for Pimp Chronicles. I got to think of Melanie Camacho as another Melanie. That's Mother. And then one more. I'm blanking on somebody I should be saying. Please do not crucify me for this. I'm trying to think. Robin Harris. Robin Harris raised me. So that's some of my top 10, right? Some are canceled now. Some are problematic. Some been problematic. But those, like, as far as comedic influence on me and the reason I do what I do, and I know I forgot some people and I hate when people ask me this question. But yeah, so those are my comedic influence, inspired by... Trying to think of some other female comedians that, like, obviously the queens of comedy, like some more. That's Mother, because being a bad bitch on stage is very important to me. Like, even if I bomb, I was bad, you know. So I got to put some more in there. You know what? I just can't name. Maybe I need to separate. I don't know. Definitely some more. Yeah. Okay. So this kind of got long, but yeah, the comedy journey. Comedians that influenced me, that inspired me to do what I do, comedians that raised me. Like, again, I was daddy's son, so me and him used to be in the living room cackling at stuff. And this is what we would watch. You know who I used to watch too? Dan Cook. I used to really go up for Dan Cook. That's crazy. But yeah, that is it. That is the content. Let me know in the comments who are your top 5 and 10. People love this conversation. Oh, I forgot Martin Lawrence. How I forget Martin Lawrence? It's just too many to name. It's honestly, I can't. But yeah, so like, follow, subscribe, you know, all the things.